Good morning, everybody. I'm back again. I was walking. I did 2 or 3 laps. I just wanted to stop and take a second and speak to you on something that's kind of close to my heart. Um, for those of you who know that I've been paying attention to my channel. I'm on the carnivore journey uh, for wellness, health, diabetes. Um, I needed to get my diabetes under control. Not to mention the multiple health issues I had because of diabetes and my constant body pain. Now, um, oh, I guess I have some company. Check this out. They're just kind of hanging out back there. So I got on ChatGPT. I'm kind of new to it, so forgive me. I'm fumbling through it. I'm trying to get as much information as I can through it, and I'm still not 100% sure of the legitimacy of the information. From what I understand, it's pretty legitimate. So this is what I did. My question was, if diabetes was cured today, what effect would it have on the global economy? And I'm going to break down the answer as best as I can remember. And hopefully you guys can kind of draw from that your own conclusion. So, in 2019, let me think about this for a second. In 2019, the global cost of diabetes, most of which being type 2, was over 900. It was actually 966 billion with a B, billion dollars in 1 year. They projected that by 2045, the global healthcare cost will be over $1 trillion. It was like $1.05 trillion. The funny thing to me is the way they worded it is, if somehow diabetes was magically cured today, this would be the result. Now, as a caveat, they did say there would be some residual costs. Even if the disease itself was cured today, there would be some residual costs because of people with damage done, such as kidney disease, heart failure due to diabetes, or all the other health-related issues that came from diabetes. Saying that you didn't cure any of that stuff, just type 2 diabetes, there would be residual costs. But I'm fairly sure it wouldn't be in the billions, much less the trillions. So, what does that mean in terms of the economy? I don't have a clue. But it sounds like a ton of money. And considering we're one of the bigger populations, if I'm not mistaken, the United States is pretty high on the charts of diabetes to population ratio. So, all this talk that's going on right now about make America healthy again. Now, I'm not talking about Trump. I'm just talking about the initiative to make the country healthy again. We all know that this lifestyle is curing diabetes. I've done it, so I know it for a fact. I had rampantly out of control blood sugars. I was very sick. I had multiple health problems, and now they're gone. Why isn't anybody talking about this? Look, I understand there aren't any studies. I get it. But speak on it in terms of there aren't any studies. This isn't factual science. This is anecdotal. But if you're suffering from diabetes, you're on multiple medications, you've had multiple health issues, as part of the treatment plan, eat meat. 60 days. See what your body does. Why isn't the country doing more about the processed foods, the rice, the greens, the oats? Why aren't they stopping these commercials from saying things like breakfast is the most important meal of the day and showing oatmeal and cereals being eaten? Why are they still allowing cereal boxes that have cartoon characters on them? I can't answer these questions. But these are things that ramble around in my mind. So, the next time you're thinking about healthcare costs, the next time you're thinking about taxes and what it costs to survive these days, imagine if globally we were able to put $1 billion back in the bank. Now keep in mind, the bulk of that spending is on lower to middle class families. According to ChatGPT, households. It didn't say families, it said households. So, it's wild to me that the less prosperous part of our society are the ones taking the biggest hit in health based on the food that we're eating. Think about it, folks. You know, think about it. I see people going on these infomercials and buying $50 supplements and $100 supplements, and gym memberships that cost $500 to $1,000 a year, or some of them that are less expensive, and they spend all this money to beat illnesses, to get healthy, to feel better. Take that money, take your food budget money, go to the supermarket and buy fatty meat. Suffer for a couple of weeks. Deal with your withdrawals. Deal with your with the diarrhea. Deal with the cravings. Get through it. You can do this. Get through the cravings. Get through all the BS and see how you feel. Some people say 30 days. I say 90. Because in 90 days, you've kicked all the addictions. You've gotten your body fairly adjusted to your new lifestyle. And you're really starting to feel the difference between eating processed foods, eating seed oils, eating sugar, and doing what they're calling carnivore. Look, the name attaches a lot of hate mongering and fear. Carnivore. Don't think of it in terms of carnivore if that's what bothers you. Think of it as a ketogenic diet. It's a zero carb, meat heavy diet. And I can only speak from my personal experience. It cured every problem I had. Let me say that to you again. I was a brittle diabetic, in and out of hospitals, head to toe pain, arthritis, tendinitis, everything you can think of hurt on my body. Standing hurt, sitting hurt, laying down hurt. Walking was a struggle. Going upstairs was an impossibility. Not impossibility, I'm being dramatic. But it was very, very hard for me. Between the joint pain and the muscle soreness and my inability to breathe correctly and running out of breath and my heart rate rising, and not to mention my blood sugar being astronomical at points. I fixed it all. I'm doing wind sprints in a few minutes, hopefully, if the field is open. And we can globally save $1 billion. For those of you who are concerned with homelessness, what would $1 billion do for that? You know what? Forget about homelessness. Cure diabetes and take the $1 billion, divide it up between each individual in the world. I don't know how many people there are in the world, but I'm pretty sure people would be very happy with that check once a year. Because it's a yearly thing. That's not since diabetes was introduced or discovered or whatever. It's 1 year, 2019, over $900 billion. Or how about take $1 trillion and divide that up? That's just one man's idea. I know it's controversial, it's weird, it's probably highly debatable, but it's something. And it just might work. Alright, y'all. I'm going to try and do one more lap because I sat for a few minutes, and then I'm going to see if that field's open, and then we're going to hit the grass and do some running. Stay healthy, y'all. Stay healthy.